All right. Good morning, everyone. It's just a minute after 10:30, so I'll go ahead and get started. So if you have a mat or a cleared off space to do some poses, we'll be either seated or possibly we'll be on our knees and stretching out a little bit. So just having a space where you can do that. If you also have a bolster or a pillow, I'll cue you a few times that we can use that. Also, if you have a block, and in place of a block, if you don't have a block, just a sturdy water bottle, just something you can kind of brace yourself on. We'll be doing a pose where we're holding on to it. So if you just have something that's sturdy in place of a block, I would encourage you to grab those things. So welcome everyone. So good to see everyone today on this Thursday morning. All right, so my name is Elizabeth. I'm from the Red Lake Nation, and this morning I wanted to introduce some breathing techniques that I have learned along the way, and we'll practice those breathing techniques to begin with, a few of them. We'll practice a breathing technique at the end, and then throughout our practice, while we're moving, I'll cue us when we can do some of those breathing techniques. So let's get started. So first I wanted to just introduce just a few things that I've learned along the way and began experiencing as I practiced some breathing techniques. So breathing techniques, breath is something that's with us all the time. So it is a tool that we can access all of the time, which is wonderful. It can do a variety of different things to help us in our health, to help us in our physical health, our emotional health, our mental health, our spiritual health. So it has many different ways that it can be beneficial when we tap into our breath and when we practice our breath in certain ways. So, and many of you probably have tried different breathing techniques in different places, maybe yoga, maybe in other ways, but breath is something that is accessible to us all the time. So, coming to a comfortable seated position, either on your knees or cross-legged. I can only stay on my knees for so long before it starts to become a little bit uncomfortable. But so just coming to a comfortable seated position, sitting up nice and tall. We'll just take a few moments here to tap into our breath and just observe. Just observe the sensations as we inhale. Observe sensations on your exhale. In this place here, we are not passing any judgment or controlling in any way, just observing. Okay, so the first breathing technique that I wanted to practice with us today is the breathing technique called belly breathing. And so if you are able, I feel like coming onto your knees or sitting on a block gives you a little bit more access to your belly. So just giving you a little bit of lift, or you can stay in your cross-legged position. But for some reason, it gives me a little bit more access to my belly when I'm seated up nice and tall, like so. So as we begin, bring your hands and just placing them on your belly, not pressing or forcing anything, just making contact with your belly here. So what we are going to imagine is that our belly is like a balloon. And as we inhale, that balloon expands. And as we exhale, all the air comes out of it. We contract. And we inhale, that belly expands like a balloon. As we exhale, contracting, all the air comes out of it. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. All the air comes out of our balloon. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. All the air comes out. Continue to go at your own pace. On every inhale, expanding that balloon to its full capacity, and then as you exhale, contracting. We'll feel our belly rise. Okay, so I wanted to try this breathing technique laying down too. So sometimes feels a little bit different. Maybe we're able to access that expansion a little bit more when we're laying down. So if you come to a gentle pose, feet together, coming sideways on your mat. And if you have a bolster and you'd like to lay on it, you can. Just bringing it to the base here of your back. And then gently laying down, coming into gentle pose. And we'll just take a few breaths here just to practice it. Okay. And as we inhale, feeling that belly expand, feeling it rise. And as we exhale, contract, all the air comes out. Just going at your own pace. One more time. Okay. We'll slowly come up, come back to our seated position, either on your knees or cross-legged, whatever feels most comfortable to you. This time we'll focus on a different part of our body as we breathe. We're going to focus on our side body. So we're focusing on the expansion on our inhale on the sides. And so if you imagine like an accordion opening up as you inhale, and as you exhale, coming in kind of like a corset. And you can exaggerate those movements. Sometimes it helps me to exaggerate with my hands where my side body is going. So as you inhale, expand like an accordion. Exhale, contract like a corset. Inhale, expand like an accordion. Exhale, contract. A few more times. Inhale. And exhale. Again, just going at your own pace. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract into that corset. Okay, so now we're going to connect a few of these breathing techniques into some movement. And we'll also practice some back breathing, and I'll cue us when we get to that place. All right, so coming onto all fours into a tabletop position, knees underneath your hips, hands underneath your shoulders. Getting settled in your position. When you're ready, dropping your belly, inhale, expanding that belly. Gaze comes forward into our cow, and then as we exhale, contract, arching our back, shoulders up to our ears. Inhale, dropping that belly, letting it expand. Exhale, contract. All the air comes out. Just continue going at your own pace. Inhale. Connecting your breath to your movement. And if you ever want to change the direction of your movements, maybe going from side to side as you move through your cat and cow, just doing what feels good. Focusing on that belly as you inhale and exhale. Okay, one more round. Leaning back in tabletop for just a moment. Then we'll come back into a child's pose. So widening your legs, widening your knees out to the length or the width of your mat. Toes come together, arms expand in front of you. Stretching out, and as you sit back, exhale, letting it all out. For just a moment here, we're going to come into child's pose a few times today. As you inhale, just acknowledge if you feel that space in your back body. Feel it rise. As you exhale, feeling it come back down. Sink back down towards the mat. As you inhale, feeling that back rise. As you exhale, feeling it come back down to the mat. Just continue to breathe here. Do one more breath here. Inhale, feeling that back rise. Feeling it fall back towards the mat. Okay, coming back up into tabletop. I'm pausing here for just a moment. Coming onto your knees. We're going to come into a modified version of warrior. So bringing your block handy to the right side. We'll use it in just a little bit. So here we're going to stay, our right knee is on the mat. Our left leg can either come up, propped up like so, or if you want to heel toe it out wide and not to where your knee is completely straight, a little bend, where the sole of your foot is making contact onto the mat, you can do so. So you decide which way feels better, if this feels better or the other. So we'll bring our arms out, extended either side, palms facing down, parallel to the ground, gazing over your right fingertips, engaging that core. Continue to breathe. And then we'll gently bring our left arm and just making contact with our left leg. Bring our right arm up into the sky. Inhale. From here, let's see if we can feel some space in that right side body. See if we can feel it expand as we inhale. As we exhale, see if we can feel it contract just a little bit. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Coming back to Warrior Two, arms parallel to the ground, nice and strong. And then having access to your block on the right side, we'll come to a triangle here, but from our modified position. So you probably want to be on the high side of your block. And as you inhale, bring that left arm up into the sky. Exhale. And as you're here, see if you can feel that left side body expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, see if you can feel it contract. And if it feels better to bring that left arm down, you can, placing it on the small of your back. Coming back nice and strong, engaging that core, coming into our Warrior Two, gazing over those right fingertips. And bring your arms back down to your sides. Left knee comes down to the mat. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, switching the placement of your block. So again, see what it feels like, which is propping your leg open. Or if you want to heel toe it almost straight, where it's making contact, you decide what feels better. I'll try it this way this time. So inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, arms parallel down to the floor, palms facing down, gazing over those left fingertips, shoulders nice and open. You breathe, and then gently just placing that right arm on that right leg. Just gently tilt that left arm up towards the sky. From here, just see if you feel some space in that left side body. As you inhale, see if you feel it expand. As you exhale, just notice if you feel some contraction there. Coming back to Warrior Two, gazing over those left fingertips, shoulders nice and open, having access to that block on the left side. We'll tilt into triangle here. So left hand braced on your block, right arm comes into the sky. Need to breathe here and see if you feel some space in that right side body. If you're able to breathe directly into that space and feel some expansion. As you exhale, see if you can contract. You want to try your arm behind your back, just placing it on the small of your back. And coming back to a neutral position, bringing that right knee down to meet your left. And we'll come back long ways on our mat. Staying up on our knees for just a minute. Do a few shoulder rolls to the back and to the front. I'll prepare to come into camel position from here. So placing your hands just on the small of your back behind you, trying to tuck your elbows back as well. Shoulders nice and open, gaze towards the ceiling. And just gently pressing your hips forward. Feeling that front body expand, heart open to the sky. And if it's in your practice to bring your hands down to your heels, please do so. Continuing to breathe, pressing those hips forward. And then gently coming out. Bring your arms back down to your sides. We'll come into a higher version of child's pose here. Our knees are directly underneath our hips, extending our arms in front of us. And we'll just sink down. If our head makes contact with the mat, we can do so, just letting our arms expand in front of us, reaching forward, continuing to breathe. And that expansion in our upper back. And walking your hands back underneath your head and then your shoulders, coming back into tabletop and pressing back up. We'll sink back down. Knees together, feet together behind us. And then grabbing our heels, just placing our hands on our heels, we're going to come into a rabbit pose from here. So making your body, curling it up into a ball, arms at either side of your legs. Forehead comes towards the mat in front of you. As we inhale, we're going to lift our bottom up into the air, holding onto our feet or our heels behind us. Feeling our upper back and our shoulders. Get a good stretch here. Feeling our abdominal area massaged from being compressed together. Continue to breathe. And slowly lower back down. Coming into that little ball. Pressing up. Just pausing here for a moment. And next, I want to try, if you do have a bolster, I want to try a different way of using our bolster in our child pose. So placing your bolster right in front of you, we're going, or pillow if you have a pillow, we're going to be laying mostly on our bolster. So most of our torso is going to be on our bolster or our pillow. So knees wide, either side, probably tucking it in between your knees just a little bit. Arms extended in front of you, palms facing down towards the mat. Then sinking down, and just kind of hugging your bolster. And because we have something here, we probably have to bring one cheek or the other, looking to left or right. Hugging our pillow, hugging our bolster. And breathe into our back. Mommy! Can you come back to the phone? Please? Just a minute. Please? Your phone will be just fine. Please. Continue to breathe into that back body. You can use my phone, it's up there. Grab it. Okay. Continue to breathe into that back body. And slowly coming out, pressing up, moving the bolster from underneath you. And we'll come into a seated position, back on our mat. Okay, so first we'll start out with a forward fold, legs extended in front of you. Don't do that, you're gonna break it. Legs extended in front of you, arms at either side, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, rise your arms over your head. Exhale, hinge at the waist, fold forward. With every inhale, prepare. See if you can make some space to sink down a little bit lower into your forward fold on that exhale. Moving with our breath here. When you're ready, walking your hands back up. We'll bend our left leg, sole of our left foot, tucked into our right leg, hips square towards our outstretched leg. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Arms at either side of that right leg. Or if you're able to hold on to that right foot, you can do so. Using your breath as a tool to see if you can make some space on your inhale. On that exhale, see if you're able to sink down just a little bit lower into the forward fold. Walking your hands back up, sitting up nice and tall. And I'm going to adjust my position so you can see this a little bit better. So our hips are square towards our foot first. And now we're going to open our left knee open to the left, so we're not making contact with the right leg anymore. Our hips and our base is nice and open. Right leg is out about 45 degrees. Our hips are square to the front, arms at either side. Just gently placing your right hand on your right leg. Inhale, bring your left arm up into the sky. As you exhale, tilt towards that outstretched knee, outstretched leg. And again, here from this position, see if you can feel some space in that left side body. You can sit down right here. Still. There you go. See if you can feel some space in that left side body. Open up from this position. And breathe into that space. And as you exhale, contract. See if that space comes back in. Even if it's just a visual of it, we may not be actually expanding our left side body too much physically, but just visually thinking of that space in that left side body. And coming back up, sitting up nice and tall, switching our legs, left leg outstretched in front of us. And first we'll square our hips to the front, left leg outstretched, right leg tucked into our body. Now, as we inhale, bring our arms overhead, hips towards that outstretched leg, and hinge forward. Arms at either side of our left leg. With every inhale, see if we can make some space. As we exhale to prepare and sink down a little bit lower into the stretch. Feeling it in our hamstrings. Walk your hands back up.
Double trip.
So left leg.
Double trip.
Left leg is about 45 degrees out to the side. Our hips are square to the front. Our base is nice and wide here. Arms at either side. And just gently placing your left arm by your left leg. Inhale, bring your right arm up into the sky. As you exhale, tilt. Opening that right shoulder, that right side body. As you inhale here, see if you can find that space, feel that space you can breathe directly into in that right side body. As you exhale, contract. Maybe bringing your right arm, placing on the small of your back if that feels good. And coming back up to seated. Bringing our legs in front of us. We'll just windshield wiper our legs for just a moment from right to left. We'll prepare for a hip opener here. So we'll begin with our left leg on the bottom at about a 90-degree angle in front of us. Our knee is the 90-degree angle, and flex that left toe. And then we'll bring our right leg, crossing it over that left leg, flexing both of our toes here, flexing both of our feet. And our legs are about a few inches away from our body instead of in our cross-legged position. So if you can feel the hip opener here, I know I can. If you feel it, you know you're doing it. Doesn't take much for me to Get a hip opener stretch. Breathing into it, sitting up nice and tall. Breathing into those spaces that we're working right now. And gently switching your position, right leg on the bottom, at about a 90-degree angle. Toe is flexed, left leg over the right, toe is flexed, about a 90-degree angle, legs farther away from your body than you would in a cross-legged position. Sitting up nice and tall. Breathing into those spaces, maybe your hip flexors, probably your hip flexors that are feeling it right now. And coming out of the stretch, and we'll windshield wiper our legs to get some movement back in them. Back to our hips, back to our knees, back to our ankles, just letting all that tension out. Okay. So this time we're going to sit like we're about to sit in cross-legged position with our left leg on the bottom. Now our right leg is going to cross over that left. We'll come into a spinal twist here. So arms at our sides. Inhale. And we'll twist towards that propped up leg. So our left elbow tucks our right knee into our body. Our right arm comes behind us. Fingertips propped up on the mat behind us. Sitting up nice and tall, gazing over that right shoulder. Feeling the spinal twist. Perhaps our hip flexor again. Our shoulders. Breathing into all those spaces. And gently coming out. And we'll change positions. Our right leg is on the bottom this time. We can tuck it into our body a little bit more this time. And crossing our left leg over that right knee. Sitting up nice and tall to begin with. Arms at our sides. Inhale. Bring our arms overhead. And as we exhale, kind of hooking our right knee with our right elbow. And our left arm comes behind us. Fingertips propped up. Sitting up nice and tall, feeling that stretch all the way, perhaps from your hip flexor, your spine, your shoulders. Breathe into those spaces. And slowly coming back to neutral. I like to windshield wiper my legs here too. So just windshield wiper those legs one more time. Probably come into a comfortable seated position. Maybe cross-legged, however you would like to sit. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll do a few neck stretches here. We'll do some neck rolls clockwise first. So just dropping your head gently to the front. We'll go in a clockwise fashion. It's a gentle neck roll all the way around. Once and then go again. And when you get to the front, just pausing for a moment. And then go in the counterclockwise direction. One time and then another. Just pausing for a moment before you bring your head back up. We'll do one more neck stretch. First, your left arm either to your hip or just placed on the mat to your left side. Right arm outstretched. Inhale, bring it up and over your head, placing it right above your left ear. Just feeling the weight of your hand on your head, just gently bringing that right ear down to your right shoulder. And breathing into the space here that you're making on that left side of your neck, maybe shoulder. Breathing into those spaces. And coming back to neutral, arms at either side, head facing towards the front. This time with your right arm on your right hip or just placed on the mat to the right of you. Left arm outstretched. Inhale, bring it all the way up and over your head, placing it on right above your right ear. Just feeling the weight of your hands on your neck, not pressing in any forceful way, but just gently bringing that left ear down to your left shoulder. Breathing into the stretch. And slowly coming back to neutral. Taking a few moments to settle into a comfortable seated position. We'll come into our last breathing technique before we get into Savasana. So I'm going to come closer to the camera so you can see me. So this is a breathing technique that can be called different things, but one of the names for it is peaceful breathing. And what it does is it incorporates a mantra. So the word phrase that we're going to use is I am at peace. And then the mudra that we will tap our fingers as we say each word, we will tap our index, middle, ring, pinky. And so I'll practice just a few times before we actually get into it. So on a full inhale in our heads, I'll say it out loud just to begin with, but we'll be saying it in our heads for most of it. We say, I am at peace on that full inhale, and then on a full exhale, I am at peace. I am at peace. Inhale. I am at peace. Exhale. Okay, so let's get started. And I'll say it out loud just a few times, then I'll go silent as well. All right, here we go. I am at peace. Inhale. I am at peace. Exhale. I am at peace. Inhale. I am at peace. Exhale. One more time. Okay. All right. So when you're ready, bring yourself all the way down to your mat into Savasana, or if you would like to do Savasana seated, you can do that as well. If you have your bolster, you want to use it in any way, or a blanket, or any clothing you want to add to get comfortable, just coming all the way down. Arms outstretched, legs outstretched, sinking into the earth, into the floor. Come into our final pose, Savasana, a resting pose. And as we're here, perhaps returning to any intentions that maybe we have made for our practice today. Maybe just bringing our focus back to our breath, to the here and now. And staying as long as you need to in your Shavasana. If you're ready to bring your awareness back to some movement of your body, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe taking a deep breath in and then out, letting it all go. And gently rolling over to one side or the other. Coming into a fetal position for just a moment. Maybe resting on your hands as a pillow. And gently pressing yourself up to seated. Sitting up nice and
I
tall.
don't know this game, Mom. Please. Pretty please, Mom.
And just taking a moment here before you close out your practice in whatever way you would like to. Perhaps bringing your hands to your heart, acknowledging those that practiced with you and saying thank you. Thank you for those here joining me today. Thank you for this space that brought us together. Thank you for the practice. So, miigwech. Thank you all for joining me today.